Welcome back, everybody. Do we look any different this time? Are we still stuck on vertical? It doesn't appear that we are. Let me know in the chat how we looking, how we doing. Hey, Carrie, welcome in. Leva, welcome back. My mod team, thank you. Simi, Forrest, and Rachel, welcome back. All right. Hey, Moore's dog mom, how are you? Yeah, I did a live earlier, a couple hours ago, and it was stuck on vertical, and I could not correct it back here in my studio. And so I read the document from the lawsuit that Seth Rogers filed. And then anyway, we shut the stream down after that, and we're back. And it appears we are normal again, guys. Yay. I think what happened, I don't know what happened, but all I can figure is which I do this all the time, so it shouldn't have been a big deal. But I did set it up from my phone sitting outside earlier, right? The show originally. And I don't know because if I did that, if it was stuck on vertical because of that. So this time I made sure, then when I reset, I did it on the PC and made sure landscape was chosen. So we should be good to go. So then when I share screen with you guys and look at videos with you guys, we're all in the same, we can see again. So thank you for your patience and putting up with the Hot Mess Express. Um, the break was not bad though. It was beautiful outside. I caught an amazing sunset and a pretty sky that followed. After a good solid 2-hour nap, the dogs just had a blast outside, wore themselves out again. Then the puppy tried to play hide and seek a few minutes ago, and I had to get a treat out and coax her out from behind the couch. But then she went right in her kennel and was like, "Give me my treat," and she just laid down with it. So she's chilling. That means the big dog will chill. But they played hard out there during that sunset experience. Yeah, Leva normally, I can set it up either way back here, but even when I know right when I went live, I usually pull up the chat on my phone because Restream doesn't show it in real time. It's like a delay. It's weird. Either way, but it was weird right off the bat. But now we're looking normal. But yeah, there's what everybody says. It likes to force that, but I also have the option. I think we can stream both ways. Honestly, I have the option to add. I could do it both ways. So I don't understand why I couldn't even adjust it back here. It was weird. It was just not cooperating, so whatever. We'll have to just deal with it. We dealt with it, right? All right, let me get adjusted here, guys. Phew. So when we wrapped up this part one there, after we read the document, I told you guys that Seth was live over there on his channel. Sure enough, they're live. It's not as wild as I expected it to be so far. The little bit that I watched of it, chat was just like the normal. I don't know any of those people. It's like Seth supporters, and Sebastian Rogers supporters. So all that. It's all better now. Good. Yeah, they need to stop messing with stuff. They're always messing with stuff. Yeah, we know, Carrie. It's bad. Excuse me, I got the hiccups again. It's bad. A lot of people are getting that smoke from the Canadian fires. Everybody in the path, people near the fires, everybody in the path of the smoke. It's crazy. It needs to calm down, right? What does Canada have a drought forest? What's going on? Our mod forest, he is in Canada. They need like massive rain. They can have some of this that we're about to get that we're getting out of this invest storm out in the Gulf. Wish we could send some of our tropical moisture that way to calm things down. Well, it's not just Canada, right? I mean, look at how many times we see California all ablaze. I always say every region has their brand of weather, right, that we have to deal with. Like, I couldn't imagine blizzards. People in blizzard country probably couldn't imagine hurricane country, right? And then you take into account those people who have the tornado outbreaks every year, the wildfires out there in California. It's crazy. The earthquakes and shit. California's got it double bad. They get the wildfires and the earthquakes. I'm like, no, thank you with that earthquake situation. I don't want to fall off the face of the earth accidentally and not even have no warning. Think about my brand of weather here in hurricane country. I got plenty of time to watch it and prepare. And I feel blessed in that nature because I don't feel like other regions have that option. Tornado warnings can be alert go out, but how much time do they really have, right? Same with some of these wildfires that pop off. Sucks to have to evacuate during a crisis, a weather crisis or event. Lots of smoke in Idaho the last few days. Levis says it's a rainforest there. Yeah, when I was sitting outside earlier after we wrapped up, I had to go get a little bit of the tropical update. So I got to keep my eye on that business out there, trying to mess with us. Trying. Okay, guys. I think they're still alive over there, so we're not going to look at that yet. But we had some things lined up that we were going to look at earlier, right? Because this lawsuit that Seth has filed is against the sheriff's department. We all read, y'all, if y'all were with me earlier, we read the document, or you heard me read it because you probably couldn't see it that well. Um, and he's questioning the investigation techniques, everything done right, everything done appropriately, was enough done, enough resources applied, all the things. And then he has the separate suit with the Department of Children and Families. Um, there's going to be a lot that there was already a lot going on, with stuff with this case where people that have issues, but it was based on stuff with this case. So, with that said, now that this lawsuit has happened, there's going to be more. It's going to come back. It's coming back, right? It's to the surface. A lot of things. So you'll hear about a lot of things that were brought up during all of this, just like with the DCF stuff. A lot of that was out there earlier. They were touching on that a little bit on Seth's Live. One thing I noticed, he would not talk about Chris and Katie. He only wanted to talk about stuff that was in the lawsuits, right? The investigation and the DCF stuff. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's take a look at the investigation because that's always important, especially since I gave them a lot of pushback early on, like I've stated. I feel like, at some point they have to get better. Law enforcement as a whole, that would include local sheriff's departments, city police departments, state, local law enforcement agencies, Federal Bureau of Investigations. Get better at communicating with the public and sharing information that you can really share, that you shouldn't withhold, because a lot of times it leaves holes and too many questions, and once that train leaves the track, it don't come back, right? It's hard to get it back. So I thought we would take a look at some of that early stuff in the investigation. We know that the night of Sebastian's disappearance, that day, him and his mother spent the day out and about. They went out to BJ's. They went shopping. He had a colossal popcorn. She was describing the size of the popcorn, what it's called at BJ's, but with the internet, made that a big deal for some reason. People are going to people. But he loved his big popcorn. He was a 15-year-old boy who loved to eat, right? So he had his popcorn. I think they went bowling at some point, right, with other family members, and then they go to dinner. Katie and her son. Chris is out of town working, and we have video footage of that dinner because it came out later, right? So we're going to take a look at all this stuff. Also, there's an interview out there on Nancy Grace because she did a lie detector test on Seth Rogers. Because there were a lot of accusations out there being heralded on the internet, And Chris and Katie had done interviews. So we're going to take a look at some of that, y'all. So are y'all with me? Y'all ready? So many balls were dropped in this case. I, I, I don't know if that's even true. I don't know if the grainy footage that they do have, if that's Sebastian, if that's a car, what's it going to tell us? If it don't tell us much other than that's a person, that's a car, these leave this neighborhood, what kind of leads can we develop from that grainy type of footage, right? Um, we're going to take a look at some of that, Leva, like the grid searches that they did conduct, things that they did do. What what were the failures in this investigation, if any? I want to know more about the digital searches on the devices that Sebastian was connected to, things like that, right? That are key. Um, a lot of people questioned his mom because she was the last one to see him, and they left that dinner and went home. He was never seen again. Now, even we have a audio call. Seth had hired some private investigators, um, Heather Cohen and Chloe, and they interviewed former Sheriff Weatherford of Sumner County. He had retired right before Sebastian went missing, I believe. He's now passed away. And he's given them information on what they did do, right? And in that home, we've heard Seth say it was an unsecure scene. I've said the same thing. From what we've heard on the internet by both family members, the house was full of people. But there's no sign that Sebastian left the home. So they did, according to Weatherford, do thermal imaging on the walls to see if the boy was in the walls, right? So I don't know what more they could have done, because I don't know what all they did do beyond the stuff we know about, right? And I'm very interested to know more about any kind of digital searches, that any information that may have brought forward. Oh, I didn't participate in all that. Yeah, Lev, I I turned the other head when I turned my head the other way when all that was happening. I didn't want to take no sides with any family member. I didn't know what was going on. The people that were getting into arguments about stuff. No, that's not helping me find this little boy, right? But I get it. There was a lot going on there, so I understand the need for all that, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't for me. I just was around when all that was starting to happen, saw a lot of things, and I just decided that was not for me. You're supposed to learn from these internets, not, you know. So we're going to try to focus on what they did do in this investigation, guys. So let's pull up what we have here. Like I said, I did go back through my stuff earlier to this morning and pulled up some of my old content and some of the things we do have. And not only my old content, there's another thing, if we get to that tonight, we'll look at. Okay, let's see. Is it here? Oh, that was part 2. Okay. Now, when they came home, actually, Weatherford describes that pretty good. I should probably put that call up between the investigators and then go into this 911 call. But anyway, we'll do it either way. So, Katie says when they got home from dinner at the Longhorn Steakhouse, wasn't it Longhorn? That, he went to bed that night. She gets up the next morning and she doesn't see him. Well, but during the night, she had a phone call with Chris. She's in the living room sleeping. She hears a thud and she just yells at, "What are you doing in there? Go to bed," blah, blah, blah. He goes to bed, she thought. Now, people gave her a lot of flack on the internet. Who doesn't get up and check that thud? What does she mean? She heard a thud and didn't get up. Well, I have 2 boys, and they've both been 15 at one point. And if I'm laying in my room or in my bed or on the couch and it's late and there's a thud, I'm probably going to assume he's doing some ridiculous stuff in there. Boy, what are you doing? Nothing, Mom. Everything all right in there? Yes. Go to bed. Okay. I'm probably not getting up and walking in there. I'm tired. It's late. He said he's fine. So, I don't try to judge stuff like that. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I got kids. That's obvious. That's the thing. But now, guess what? Because there was also a thud in the night in the Idaho 4 case that went unchecked, apparently. So, guess who checks the thuds in the night now? Now I'm laying in bed going, oh, shit, that was a thud. Fuck. What if somebody's in the house taking somebody? Right? What if someone just slipped out the back door? I better go check that thud now. Right, they make noise. They're 15, right? If we got up and checked every look, when my boy, my youngest was 15, he was a gamer, right? There's a lot of noise coming from that room. If I got up and checked every single time and every single noise, I would have worn myself slap out. Shit, I ignored a lot of that I heard coming out of that room, especially when he was gaming. Oh boy. All right, let me get this up here. This is the 911 dispatch audio. And so you're going to hear other audio blend in, but you'll be able to tell when they're talking about Sebastian, right? And the call that came in reporting his disappearance. So Katie says she gets up the next morning, which would be, what was it, Monday morning? And he's not there. And he's not in the house. She goes outside. He's not outside. Katie gets in her car and starts driving around to look for him. And then she calls Chris at work 3 hours away, and Chris, I think he has her on hold or three-way, whatever they did there, and then he calls 911 or sheriff's department directly, because they was like, wait a minute, was it the direct line to the department because he knew somebody or something? People were like, why was it 911 called? Or I feel like that was a thing. Y'all, it's been a minute. There's a lot going on in that case. So if anybody, like I said earlier, if I misspeak about something, y'all can correct me along the way. Okay, so Sebastian Rogers 911 call, part 1. This is the audio only, but this is old, so I have his flyer there and a couple of photos of Sebastian as well.
47 and 184.
184, Long Haul Fight, 360.
Missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. Medium white male, 30 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. Going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. Going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
2-4 around.
All the doors were locked at this time. Does that mean at this time because Katie left the house, or was they all locked when Katie got up? Every single door was locked when Katie got up? We don't know for sure. It's been reported that way.
Hello, Central.
No.
He's not clear.
No, that occurred. The essay, Sebastian was younger, and they lived out in California with his mom and stepdad. And there was a friend, okay, that came over and would play with Sebastian in the bedroom. And yeah, that's when it occurred with that child. And the playmate was was older than Sebastian. I can't remember the correct age. But yes, that's what that was. Not by a stepdad.
Verbal warning.
The allegations against the stepdad are physical and verbal abuse.
Got it, I had to clear verbal.
47, Central.
47 minutes.
Yes, if the juvenile has a phone.
So then I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Great. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
Good.
Be in the area of Steam Plant Road and Newton Lane. Caller very back of truck is on fire. Pulled over on the side of the road.
So that's
Caller's no longer answering call taker's questions. Central to 47184 and 12. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
So Katie got in her blue Infiniti, her baby blue Infiniti, and was driving around looking for Sebastian when the call came in that he was missing.
47 to 12. Get there and see what's going on. Do our own searches of residence. We'll go from there.
184, your OCA will be 02197. 02197. And the call is 634. Sure.
When you get a chance, can you call all of the local hospitals just to make sure he's not in one of those?
That's right.
68 Central on Payne.
Partially on 47. 12.
Good, cool.
I took personal medical center ER, Sumner Station ER, Sumner Regional ER, and Skyline, all clear of the juvenile. Also, I do have a 911 hang-up is pending at 132 Hollywood Boulevard, Zone 1. There is no call history, and they've attempted language line with no connection. Do you want me to clear it?
10-4 Central, you clear. 68 Central, K9's on the ground.
Copy, K9 on the ground.
Hey, Jenkins, he's on track. 63 Central.
837.
I'll be 10-6 at Kara.
Well, we're going north on Stafford.
47. Code Red has them on. That is the Code Red has them on. That is the
Window open animal farm near Happy Hollow, Center Point area.
Go ahead. Next big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
Boy, I'm behind you.
He said Max just tracked up. So that's the dog. So Max is the dog, and that is his handler speaking. And the dog is running up Stafford Court. He said this is the neighborhood, right? There's two roads, Stafford that he lives on and Kellen behind him. And this dog is going to go up toward the construction site back there. There's another phase of the neighborhood being built, and there's a retention pond back there. And Max is going to run all the way back there and then jump into the retention pond.
It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on.
Hey, this is all dry, hard packed.
Out of Stafford Court.
LT, we're now headed back south towards the cemetery on the far end of the construction site.
Boy, I can see you.
I do have some footprints over here.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond.
No shoes, just footprints?
My shoes, that Max went straight into the pond. He literally dove into it.
He literally dove into the pond. The tracking dog. That's weird.
12 DMA want you direct. Hey, repeat that, Rice. Let me make sure he...
Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
Yeah, do you see any prints around it?
There's a few footprints in some of the softer dirt. Headed straight this way on the track that he was running.
1247, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. 25 Central. Alright. To Stafford Court. Go ahead.
Do we have a picture yet?
That's simple.
Can you send it to me, please?
22 Central, yeah. Stafford Court call. Where the riprap is, where the trees are, 25 feet maybe out in toward the middle.
Okay. Over where the trees are, maybe 25 feet. Y'all pay attention to what they're about to find out there. And it was it the thermal red imaging from the helicopter, maybe? Sees a figure in the woods. I think.
Duty may one. Duty may one. Hey guys, the construction zone, there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person, we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself. Past the construction zone in the same area back there.
Is that to the north of us?
Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. Where they're working on the machinery at, goes straight back. There's another pond back there, but there's a person in the woods by that pond. Past the house on the other side of the tree line.
Going back toward beach, or going on the back side?
Yeah, on the back side, and he's not moving. He's just standing there by himself in the woods.
It's Hendersonville 517. I'm on the northeast corner in the cemetery across the tree line. Am I close?
No, the back side.
Nikki, if you can, do you have anybody there with you that can drop a what 3 words location?
Stand by. Let me see if I can find it on my map. I got my drone grounded for the moment, and I'll see if I can.
I think it was a drone, or they're going to deploy the drone. So they're going to be looking. There's a figure out in the woods just standing there.
Do it. Target's over.
1 to 2. I'm in my truck going up to the corner. Can you see us?
Lance, hold up. I'm going to jump in with you. 2, there's 4 of us on foot coming across the yard. Start directions.
19's on the scene.
Everybody's on the ATV right there in that field. Drive straight to the woods. Straight in, straight in. Keep going like you're going. Keep going. Go left, go left. Just come back, you passed it.
Ricky, there's 4 of us on foot on the other side. Pick us up and tell us which way to go.
Yeah, we only have 1 drone. We don't want to get off the target, and we got somebody close to it. All right, somebody's walking straight to it right there. So walk. There's 2 people right there. Walk like you're going. Walk like you're going straight. Into the woods, You should be about 15 foot from it.
What's the child's first name?
Should be all over it, whatever it is right there. The 2 people walking the woods. It's a mannequin. Sorry, guys.
It's a mannequin, y'all. What are the freaking chances that you're out searching frantically for a missing boy and you got something out there in the woods and they go in there and it's a person, it looks like, and it's a mannequin. A mannequin in the middle. What the hell? But there it was, right? And that's exactly what it was. And it was just some shit somebody had put out there on the edge of the property. It's crazy.
Look just like a person from the air. Hendersonville 66. What's the name of the child that we're looking for?
First name is Sebastian.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
First name is Sebastian.
Simple. We have a last known physical description, i.e. clothing.
The last clothing description was black sweatpants with a white stripe, black long sleeve t-shirt with a print.
Simple.
T3 Central back to service.
Nikki, how many drones do y'all have up? 1 at the moment. I've got mine grounded so I can get Sartopo up. I'll be back in the air momentarily.
10-4. Central on scene. Put 2 out here with me.
Bryce, call me, please. Timbo. Who's at the residence? I just got back here. 10-4. Has anybody been there since the initial? There's a whole bunch of people here now.
There's a whole bunch of people there. Has anybody been there since anybody at the house? Anybody there since the initial? There's a whole bunch of people there now, he said.
Long house. 12 to 55. 12 to 55.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me listen to the radio on the north end until we wrap this up, please?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, you've got Hendersonville Mountain Patrol coming up there, and Joe's sending some more cars if we can start from the beginning, from the original house, and set up a new plan up there. 10-4, that's what we're doing now, sir. Thank you.
Set up a new plan of the original house. They're all like, the cops are going to converge back over there and regroup.
63 Central clear. False call. Oh, yes. A neighbor advised that he's found the child under his son's car, which is across the street, 2 doors up. So be sure and search under cars and under things.
Now, a neighbor had reported that in the past, this child who never apparently liked to go outside, according to his family, was known to hide under his car at times when he was outside. He's found him under there. So as they're walking around the neighborhood trying to find Sebastian, asking neighbors, knocking on doors, is like this guy's like, hey, that's the little boy that I found under my car hiding. So they're like, check under the cars. He's got autism, right? Check the ponds, check under your cars, check small spaces, check your garages, check your little outbuildings in the yard. All the things. They kept recommending you do that. If you have a large piece of property, walk the property, see if you see anything, all the things, in case he walked off by himself, right? It's always that. What if he just decided, you know what, I'm going to run away, but he didn't take anything with him? Any kid that runs away is going to take at least something, right? They may leave their devices behind, because if they're smart enough to know that could be tracked, they'll leave them behind. But they're going to take something with them. He took nothing but his little tiny flashlight.
Go ahead. Who do you want to go with this other?
Which, why would the flashlight be gone, right, if he didn't intend to walk outside into the dark? It's weird.
Canine search and rescue.
Simple.
There's Ken. HFG down here at the end of the road. I'm going to direct him to the pond.
12.
Go ahead.
I just talked to the GC of the construction back here. He's going to start getting the word out to all his crews that are out here working.
Simple, thank you.
He's going to have them check all their current under construction sites that they're working on, and then report back.
Simple. Is associated with 1008 staff report. Supposed to be coming back to the 1008 staff report so we can get a game plan and reconvene.
Hey, Burgett, can you put a drone right over top of this trash can, this dumpster? See if there's anything in it. 12. All the buildings up here are clear.
Simple. Come back to 1008. We're going to put people in groups. Send up.
Simple.
16 Central. In service with East West.
12 Central.
Okay. There's a second part to it here with more. So that was part one of it. So you hear them, the calls are going out, getting the description of the boy, getting his name, where is everybody at, what's going on at the house, searching all around the back of the neighborhood, up toward the construction site, the edge of the woods out there. They see this figure in the woods, and it's a mannequin. So they're looking. And they do meet back up at the house. This is part two of that same audio dispatch.
Units on scene at 1008 Fabric Court. We've had a caller call in, advised in approximately 5 to 6 minutes ago. He saw two juveniles, one in a black sweatshirt and one female with a backpack on, between Long Hollow Church and Somerset Downs. The male was wearing a black hoodie. Direction of travel was towards Gallatin. Caller states that the additional juvenile shorter than the male with long hair wearing a brown backpack.
Now that was a couple that was spotted walking, a male and a female. They were unrelated, but
Yeah.
26 Central in the area there. Don't check it. 4 to 12.
I got to check it out, but one of our UMA guys rode through there just a bit earlier reported. Not sure it was them, but this one in a black hoodie had long hair.
4 to command.
Go ahead.
remember too, Captain, that this was the next morning, so daybreak's coming, and a lot of this search was conducted in the daylight hours, right? And considering the weather in Tennessee in February at the time of that night, it was warmer that day, but it was cool at night, right? And Sebastian allegedly left the house without shoes. Everyone's like, well, look, I can probably tell you what shoes of my grandsons would be missing if a pair was missing. If it looks like they're all there, they're all there. any with all my kids, ever with my kids. And, one time I had 3 kids all at the same time. There's like shoes everywhere. But I pretty much would know if a pair was missing. Katie says his shoes were accounted for. Um, People on the internet wanted to pick that apart for some reason, like they know what's going on in her house, like they know how many shoes he had. What I don't know. But he left the house barefooted, no phone. He left his phone behind. He left his Nintendo Switch behind. Um, he walks out the door apparently, or he exits the house with nothing more than a little flashlight and bare feet, and it appears maybe like Nike sweatpants or Nike pants, like they're black with the white stripe, and a black sweatshirt. I think later we learned there was like a print on the shirt. And people wanted to yell about that. And I'm like, my boy could change his shirt in the middle of the night. I don't know, late at night. What if he spilt something gaming and I don't know? And I'm not sure exactly. Oh, yeah, well, I found this in the floor, so maybe he did change. Who knows, right?
Okay. I'll be out with those juveniles.
Could you give me a description again?
188. Van 184 is going to send you a picture.
10-4. 184. I'll be in the area. Go ahead and send that to me as well.
It's 23 to 188.
Central.
Okay.
You send a code red for 1008 Stafford.
Code red was sent out at 07:45 this morning.
2-4. It was
7:45 this morning. It was sent out.
that didn't good.
Is that
Can
what
we
you said?
retry that, please?
6-3 Central Deal 1 check.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you come to 1008 Stafford, please?
3-4.
Did you get the picture? I sent it to you.
I did.
10-4. 63. Margaret Rangel is clear NCIC through name, date of birth only. I don't have a social.
You're right. I'll be clear with an assist.
188.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you come to 1008 Stafford, please?
188. Did you get the picture? I sent it to you.
I did.
10-4.
You're right. I'll be clear with an assist.
12 to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
4 Central. Escorting one white female juvenile, one male juvenile to Beach High School. Ages 57 through 55. 4 of your boys are still up. 26 Central, I'll clear 4. I'm still in the area. Did you copy my traffic? 4 Central.
Perfect.
Beach High School, 57 through 56.
Copy, sir.
Central. Moving history is this address.
Beginning of Kelly Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north of Kelly Lane. Take one side of the road, we'll take the other since y'all started there. That's fine. I'll get these 2 houses right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me.
On the corner?
No, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from it, you'll see the white Ford in the driveway.
12 Central.
Okay.
We log a neighborhood Facebook page. Post was made. 1023 checked. No motion on camera.
I'll be clear. We're in 1.
Token branch. Male with sandy blonde hair, with a bag wrapped around his head. Showed today he had on a reflective jacket. Approximately 2 hours ago.
12-2-16. Do you have somebody that can respond to that?
10-4. I was out with that subject last night. Blonde with a reflective jacket. He's in his 20s.
3 to 12.
Go ahead, 3.
You know, if anybody checked this 139 Will Bend straight across from the retention pond, that's a camera. I'm not correct if anybody just there. 30 command. 139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door. 40 command.
Go ahead, Ford.
He had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD, and we're notifying the 30 command. Were you direct on 139 Willow Bend?
This way, that was the cameras, correct?
It's 10-4. Nobody's answering, nobody's home. Sumner,
16 to command.
Go ahead.
Regarding the miscellaneous matter record pending, cleared and authorized court.
Central to Sumner 8. I am unable to find anything in RMS regarding the registered owners. I'm still looking online at this time.
Looks like good.
Transit units that are at Stafford Court. When you check a residence, please give me the numeric and unit numbers that have checked it and whether or not you made contact with anybody.
So when you check a house, you need to make sure you log it and let us know if anybody was contacted and what house number that was, right? Yeah, it sounds like it's wild to hear the audio dispatch from them actively looking for a missing child when it's reported, right? We don't get that too often. From the sounds of this, it's always appeared they were really giving it their all when they got that call. And I don't know, other than securing the scene, like again, missing children scenes, right? Should we secure the homes immediately? Probably, just in case. We don't know how they left that house or why, or under what circumstance. Even if they just ran away on their own or were abducted from their home or harmed by a parent or guardian, whatever, secure the home immediately and do all the things. We should expect it, right? Just to be safe. This child's life's at stake. They're gone, right? But it sounds like they were doing everything that they knew to do
Yeah, man.
in that moment.
Go ahead.
Here in this part.
Made contact with 1000 Killing Lane. He checked all of his cameras. Nothing was on. No answer at 102 or 103 Killing Lane. 105. Answer, hasn't seen it. Nothing on the ring doorbell.
10-4, and you're saying 102, is it 1002 or is it 102?
1002, I'm sorry.
Can you advise if he has a white purple hoodie with color something on the front?
Did you ask if he had a light purple hoodie?
Yeah, can you just, I don't know if the parents will know, but just find out if he owns a light purple hoodie with color something on the front.
10-4. Anybody that does a residence, can they ask the parents?
Mom doesn't advise if she can recall one. Yeah, well, thanks.
Central.
Well, go ahead.
And we make sure that this has been rolled out to Hendersonville and Gallatin. Also, they were at Striking Square last night, just bowling at some games. Can you have a unit go there and just go around and make sure that he hasn't returned there? Make sure he didn't want to continue his day. 47 to command.
47.
You know, it was much different when Madeline Soto disappeared, day apart. Her grandmother had to call 911 back a couple of times. Are you coming? My granddaughter's missing. Are you coming? Now, Kissimmee, Florida is much bigger than Hendersonville, Tennessee. I get it. It was just as urgent. Ma'am, we'll get there when we can. When we get an officer available, we'll be there, ma'am. It's a much different situation. The reaction time was much different, which it wouldn't have made a difference in Madeline's case, but it might have if she had been abducted by the school like her stepfather tried to allege. Not stepfather.
58, Hendersonville 517. I mean,
What was your traffic?
517, Hendersonville is with me. 1006, no contact. 1008, made contact. Haven't seen anything. 1010 contact. They hadn't seen anything either, nothing on ring doorbell.
Yeah, because if Katie heard him in the room around midnight-ish, and then the house goes quiet, they're asleep, whatever, but the next morning she gets up and he's gone. We don't know what time Sebastian left that house. They'd never see him leave. So that tells me he didn't leave the way he went into that home when he got home from dinner, and the way he left the house to take the garbage out, which was through the front door. Was it just too dark by the time he left in the middle of the night to see him on the camera, or did he not leave through the front door? Right? But no other cameras up or down Kellen see the boy. But there was a camera footage later released that does show an image walking around. And then turns out neighbor Bobby says these boys were out there playing some flashlight tag. So there was a lot of what? So, yeah. Just because we didn't see him leave the house don't mean he didn't leave the house, right? They checked the freaking walls and he wasn't in them. So I'm assuming he left the house. Because none of us believe self-combustion occurred or poofed into thin air. Apparently that happened, but we don't believe that really what happened. You know what I mean? He went somewhere. We know that.
7 ma'am.
47.
We're both ring cameras over no one's home. Determine driver's spot.
Wait for him to get it all set up. Command the units on Stafford. I'm going to the command post if you say anything.
Yeah, this particular case, Leva, the difficult part is these parents put themselves out there, the stepdad and the biological dad, way more than they needed to or should have. So it's hard to believe. I feel like at this point, if either side had done something to their child, there would have been some overwhelming evidence, or at least some evidence to indicate as such, and there doesn't appear to be any, right? Katie had an Infiniti. What was her car again? Nice ride. She had all the onboard capabilities to tell you everywhere her car was and what it did, right? People are like, oh, when she left the restaurant, she probably deviated from going home and done something to her son. Then she went home. Well, explain how he's seen taking the damn garbage out, right? So, but there's a lot of allegations by both sides against each parent. So you take everything you hear those parents say with a grain of salt, right? We have to.
I'll be out of pocket for just a few seconds.
83.
Peter?
I'll be at Sumner Regional. We're leaving 61.
22 to command.
Thank you, Captain.
$1,012 Kellen Lane through 22 command.
22.
The lady at 1032 Kellen runs the neighborhood Facebook page, and she's updating it to request people to look in their crawl spaces and hidden areas.
10-4.
Fine. Go ahead. Hey, on at 1017 Kellen Lane, did y'all happen to check the crawl space? I will have to check my list, but if it wasn't locked from the outside, it was checked.
47 to command.
47.
Effort. They are reviewing their camera footage right now.
Well, are you guys giving them numbers to call if they find anything?
Several. 184 still with them right now.
10-4. Go ahead.
Need some check contact and they cameras checked. No, that's fine.
184, you're low volume. They got cameras checked.
It was 1018. They checked the cameras. No contact.
10-4.
I'm going to walk through the cemetery. Just to the west of Beach Hospital. I'll be out at St. John Missionary. 85. Check along. On foot.
Okay, it's ending, so that's the end of that anyway. So that was some dispatch call, right? That we all just heard it. So it sounds like they were doing all they knew to do. Checking the crawl spaces, checking everybody in the neighborhood, because I'll show you the map. of this neighborhood. Um, I'll show you what's changed. I haven't looked at the map in a minute because there's just literally there were two roads at the time that people lived on, right? I should say, put it that way, because the other part of the neighborhood wasn't built yet. Look, it's still plugged into my thing. Is this the old stuff? Oh, it looks like it is. Yeah, well, okay, there's houses back there now, some anyway, that weren't there before. And I will try, let's see. All right, let me get this up here. Okay. Okay, so you can see here where Sebastian lived, right here in this house on Stafford Court. And go back out. So Kellen is here, right? Runs right behind the home. And if you go here, this is Long Hollow Pike. I like to go, let me zoom out. We can all get a little look-see-loo. Look-see-loo. Shackle Island, Highway 258, Long Hollow Pike. Runs through here, right? So you come into this little area here, this community. I want to give you the... Okay. Beach Elementary School is here. Beach High School. The middle school's back out this way. There's a church. And then there's Long Hollow Pike. All right. This is the new area here, right between the house and the church, where you can see all the dirt. These houses, all of this is new. This is all this. This was the construction area, right? The retention pond was back here as well. Now, right here, see, it's still in the neighborhood there, Kellen. This is Devon Court. I think back then that road was not complete yet because it was back, all this was under construction. So through here, though, was the cemetery. Where's the cemetery? And there's Ward Lane. It's a little road. The middle school here's the cemetery over this way. All right. Uh-oh. Seriously? Hold on. Uh-oh. Y'all, my mouse died again. Using them Bobo batteries where our grandson Robbie and left me the bad ones. Okay, so again, his house, the road behind him, the construction area where the pond was at, there were one of the ponds, the retention pond, and Ward Lane, the little bitty road that you could absolutely get through, and it led back out to New Hope Road, back to the highway, right? Like a big old circle, right? So that's the area right there, where he went missing from. So let's go back and zoom in a little more. And now, so it looked like, so if you go down Stafford, his road, dead ends to a cul-de-sac, right? So, and there's, little houses. When you came in off the highway, you came onto Kellen. So there was this Winton Court, right? There was that. Then you come in Stafford, and then there was another little cul-de-sac right off of that. But Kellen led back toward that pond. So they go up and down all these houses, and they looked for all of the. So there's not that many, they're right there, all of them. So you would think that something would have picked up way more than what was picked up. And it looked like Sebastian, the scent dog, comes out of that house, or comes. He starts out in the front, right, when he gets the scent, but he runs down the side of the house. Oh, y'all can't see my mouse on the screen, I don't think. I don't know. Let's do this. There's the house. It's easier to display it or talk about it this way. All right, there's your front door. See this side of the house on the right-hand side here? That dog comes from there. He runs down the side of that house, and then he runs around behind it onto Kellen. There was a camera. There's a couple cameras, but camera from right over, was it this one? Picks up something, right? Are we blocked off really? Seriously? All right, so he takes off the dog down this road. And it's an incline. And the dog is just going this direction. But he gets all the way up there and he goes off toward that pond. The ponds, okay? And also back there you can the tree line where the damn mannequin was at. So, but you look, y'all, these houses are close to the road. It was dark. It's the middle of the night. If there's not a lot of porch lights, there's other than porch lights, I'm looking to see, there's usually utility lights throughout the neighborhoods. Not a lot of neighborhoods have them. Here in my neck of the woods, you got to pay for a pole light in your yard, other than what the county puts up or whatever, if you want one. See, you would have had to come in through through the front here to get into this neighborhood, unless you came in through Ward Lane around that construction site, right? There's no other way to get into that neighborhood. Do I change my view? Can I do that now? Okay. So I wanted to give y'all a look at the map for a moment there. Well, see, Leva, that's the thing. I would think he would need or want shoes, right? Regardless if I'm trying to leave everything behind, I'm probably going to put on some shoes. Well, that I hate being barefooted. We also heard Sebastian hates being barefooted. I don't mind being barefooted, but I don't want to walk around outside barefooted. No, no, no. We heard he was the same way. Which makes you wonder, did he intend to leave the house for good? I always wondered that. Did he leave the phone and game and everything behind because he just, oh God, something's got my attention, and he just grabbed his flashlight and ran outside? Then what happened, right? Right, Rachel. Exactly. You pay $10 a month for the pole light. We got one on the property, right? The neighbor back there, she's got one on her property. Other than that, and they're like low light, right? But yeah, you pay extra for those if you want one. The pole lights in the yards. But definitely, yeah, if it's dark, you certainly would want shoes. Yeah, and it's cold out, guys. Don't forget, this is Middle Tennessee in February, right? Where did my cheat sheet go? I had actually on my notes, I had the whole entire weather. the illumination of the moon, even. What was it? It was damn near a full moon that night. Am I not mistaken that with another case? Where did my notes go? Should have had them right here. But yeah, it was, February. We can all use our imagination with that in Tennessee. It was cold. So you would think that, he would want shoes on, right? Or even a light jacket, or if he planned to be gone. But who knows? But it's shoes at least. But the fact that the shoes got left behind along with the phone, what does that tell us? I don't know what that, it would, to me, it would, like, does it, the child, is barefoot a thing? Like, refuses to wear shoes. Is that normal behavior? We heard that it would have not been normal behavior, so it made no sense. And you're doing your victimology, right? Yeah. The not having the shoes never made sense as to, if you're trying to get into the head of a 15-year-old boy trying to leave the house, right? Why go out barefooted on top of everything else? Okay. So let me get my. Oh, I cannot start yawning. What? All right. There's a 5 minute. This is what this is. This is an audio call. So Seth Rogers eventually, what, a few months into this, I think it was, he hired two PIs. Chloe, she likes to live large over on X. Well, she used to. And Miss Heather Cohen. Now, weirdly enough, Heather Cohen's a private investigator out of Nashville, Tennessee. She joins the case. Then we have a lady comes in and joins the case, and her name is Jules, the canine handler. That was her handle. And she said she was ex-military or current military, was it? Handles the military dogs, canine, whatever. So she also participates in search and rescues, all of that. So she wanted to offer her services into this case as well, search and rescue with the canine. Turns out, Jules, the canine handler, is an actress who likes the horror movies. And turns out Heather Cohen, the private investigator, was a wannabe country star from Nashville. I can't make this shit up. An actress and a singer. All right. Hey, we all got to start somewhere. I'll print my PI license in a minute, y'all. I mean, never mind. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that. They might have earned them, bought them, studied for them. How does it happen? Anyway, Dog the Bounty Hunter, dude. I'm old, so I knew going into that announcement that was going to be a shit show unfolding. That was a shit show that added to the already existing shit show. Dog the Bounty Hunter had that TV show from way back in the day that I found ridiculous back then. I thought he was a little bit ridiculous, but what did I know? I red flagged him years and decades ago. Turns out, shit you not, turns out I was correct in my gut feeling. So I like to trust it most of the time because I feel like it's never steered me wrong in the long run. Yeah, I never liked no dog bounty hunter shit. Dude, let me come at me, dude. Come looking for me, dude, if I ever need to make a run for it. Excuse me? I'm not covering for the bad guy. I'm just like, could never deal with that dude. I never did like him. didn't care for his ass in this case either. All right, so back to what I was saying. So we have Heather, and we'll unpack more about that later. Not about their old careers acting and singing. We don't care. Although they're on videos on YouTube. Heather, I seen you, girl. All right, Julia, I seen Jules's movie a little. Well, not the whole thing. I'm not going to give her no credit. She claims she wasn't really. Well, never mind. She made a lot of claims. If y'all see her out and about on these YouTube streets, Jules, the canine handler, does she still got the same name? She might be speaking on a panel somewhere about the Nancy Guthrie case. Just go, oh, that's that girl, and red flag it, right? Take it with a big old grain of salt. Beth was the brains. Beth was great. Yeah, I didn't know her well because I didn't watch the show, right? I could not with her husband, so I'll give her grace. Yeah, I always felt like maybe so, but damn, she put up with that. Okay. Yikes. But yeah, you're probably right. Exactly, Y'all all agree Beth was it? Okay. I'll get behind that 1000%. I just never watched it, right? I was probably watching Nancy Grace over on the CNN unpack some crime instead of watching Dog track down the bad guys that broke Bond. I got questions about y'all's tactics and the constitutionality of what you're doing, so yeah, that was where I always sat with it. But okay, another story, right? Y'all know me. I'm like, wait a minute, I got questions about what you're doing. All right, so again, this was so Seth began to make a lot, the allegations against his ex-wife, Katie Proudfoot, and her husband, Christopher Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepfather. Um, so he hires private investigators. They too, well, Chloe changed her mind later, apparently. Because that question I posed on X that time, let me see what she said. Anyway, Seth's given allegations towards, Katie and her husband, right? So these two PIs are on the case, and they kind of fall in line with that as well. And they got their suspicions, okay, rightfully so, I guess. So they have a call now with Roy Weatherford, who was the retired sheriff of Sumner County, and now he's now passed away. But this is that phone call. And this is where he tells them where they did the thermal imaging of the walls. He gives a little more insight about the investigation. So this was also leaked out there. Mind you, it's an open investigation. The child's never been found, but we got a lot of leaked recorded private phone calls and such out there. And earlier when I peeked in on that live, I could have sworn that one lady said something about being on three-way calls with cops, like Tony Mathis. I was like, oh shit, what am I hearing? What am I hearing? We knew it was happening, but damn, y'all, maybe you shouldn't go live to talk about a lawsuit that you just filed. It may or may not be subpoenaed later. I've read a court document or two. Know how those go. All right, let's get this up here. We don't want to be in the court documents, do we, y'all? No, not happening. We're staying out of it. We're just observing from afar. Not going to be in the court docs. Yikes. All right. So when I start this, I'm going to mute for a second while I run to the restroom, and I'll be back in a minute. And just pay attention to what Weatherford's saying, and then watch. You'll notice the PI's line of questioning and the way their intent starts to go, right? Notice all of that. All right, here we go.
So let me tell you.
Before I say this, the volume is up all the way. remember they're recording the call, so you're going to hear them way better than you're going to hear him, but you can still hear it pretty well. Okay, so
Okay.
We have done a 5-mile grid around the house, and we've done all that. And we actually have.
he did just say they did a 5-mile grid from around the house, right? So we don't know that they've done further out than that 5-mile grid. It doesn't appear they ever did. They did a 2-mile to begin with, and then they branched out and did a 5-mile, and I think that's what they did.
Where every person took a footstep to know we covered every block.
Right, you did the grid
Right.
search. Okay.
And then what we had them download a app that actually showed us where they were
Start
stepping.
topo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly where they went.
Okay.
And so we've done that, well, we did it for a whole week, and then we've gone back and we did it another 2 days, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so we drained ponds.
I knew you guys did that.
We
Yeah.
had divers in ponds.
Yeah.
We've got, as far as I know, all the footage of every camera that's on either street. And
And just nothing.
that's nothing. We see him go into the house, but we never see him come out of the house.
So strange.
Trust me.
Yeah.
House, and then 6:20 maybe, he comes out and takes the trash to the end of the road, the end of the driveway. And we see him go back in the house, turn on some lights in his bedroom. That's it.
That was from a neighboring camera, I'm assuming.
We,
It's from a neighboring camera that you
Yes,
can see
yes.
all that, yeah.
But like I said, when she called us, we had people go to the house, search the house. We even got thermal imaging to check all the walls in the house, just to make sure that he went and stepped in a wall somewhere. Because we don't show him leaving the house, which is the strangest thing.
Footage of him taking out the trash, was it pretty dark by then? That was before the time
Yes, it was-
change?
it was
It was
dark,
before the
yeah.
time change, right?
And so the reason we went to the landfill in Kentucky was because the trash was taken, collected that Monday morning,
Right,
right about dark.
right.
And so, you know, I had, my opinion, one of the best teams. We had TBI, FBI,
Yeah.
Secret Service, we had TEMA, and then we had at least 200 volunteers that were in law enforcement or first responders on the ground every day. And I'm not telling you, I'm just trying
I know.
to give you information on
Some
what we have
perspective.
done. We've even called people with like cold cases and say, how did you find them? Well, this is what we've done. And every one of them tells us, you've done everything you can do except find it.
Right.
And I wish we'd get a tip today and,
Yeah.
and we could find it.
You said within a 5-mile radius.
Well, that's land search.
Yeah. Land search.
There's a creek, several hundred yards, Rex Creek. We had TWRA walk both sides of the bank and then the creek itself all the way to Hendersonville. And then they did it out towards White House. And like I said, every pond that we have been able to find has been searched.
And I assume that you're aware that right there on her, where those woods connect, that is a sex offender with 4 aggravated sexual assault charges.
I didn't know it, but
Yeah.
I don't do our list either.
But
I got one this morning said that the stepfather drove up here and got him and took him back to the job site and buried him on the job site. I'm like,
You don't think
have you
that?
got proof?
Yeah. I mean,
So
I did get a tip. I've been involved for probably a month. The morning of the 26th, around 5:30 in the morning, Kathy Bowersox was parked right beyond the Shell on New Hope. He said he had called it into Sumner County, but he hadn't heard anything back. I believe Sebastian's dad called it in again. I'm sure footage has been pulled from the Shell right there. I don't know
Did y'all hear him say they had gotten a tip that, the stepdad hurt him and buried him on the job site? That was out there too.
what other cameras would be right there. It looks like maybe there's like a storage unit kind of.
She's talking about Chris Proudfoot's mom allegedly being up at the store, Worsham's, 5:30 in the morning, before Katie calls 911 or Chris to say he's missing, and Chris calls 911. So allegedly, the story goes, Katie handed Sebastian off to her maybe, and she took off with him. I don't know.
Thing right beyond
I'm sure it's been investigated because her car too would also have a lot of onboard capabilities. Let me just say that.
on that shell, Worsham's Market, you know. And the only
What the
reason I really believe there is validity, number one, I didn't feel like the man was.
I don't know what's going on there. Hold on. Internet's fine. Hey Keith, welcome in. I hope we ran Hot Mess Express on part 1. This is part 2. I hope it's not glitching out on me now.
Lying to me, but also it was anonymously posted from someone.
We're gonna get into that, Captain. That damn polygraph. Lord, rearing its ugly head, isn't it?
And I think it was someone else because they described it a little bit differently.
You talking about the mothers?
The Christopher's mother,
Okay.
Kathy Bowersox, apparently has a decently recognizable SUV, probably because she's a real estate agent, that she was parked beyond Worsham's on the side of the road at 5:30 in the morning on February.
Shit. So the name is out there, Kathy Bowersox, as Christopher Proudfoot's mother.
February 26th, so about an hour before Sebastian was reported missing. I don't know. That's a little odd to me, and I just wanted to make sure y'all did have that tip.
I can tell you, I don't know all the.
Maybe, well, I guess maybe hopefully Carter has that tip.
I mean, I could say everything goes to him.
Right.
Is he available?
He's not here today.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have an interview with him for a promotion.
Oh,
He got sent to another county on a case.
gotcha.
All right.
All I can tell, because TBI,
Mm-hmm.
and so we really can't release more than what I've told you right now.
Yeah, and that's
You can't
okay.
release the missing persons report, like the initial report, not the police report, but just the.
Yeah, see, Craddock, I need to get that report for the Q Center. And Craddock called me and said, y'all can't release it. And I'm like,
Because it's an open case.
yeah, but I mean, the nonprofit organizations that do the searches, they get copies.
They work open cases,
That's
yeah.
how they do.
What the hell? Okay. That was the end of that. So that's what they're doing this. So they're work up in cases. They wanted to get a copy of the original report when the call was made. So y'all heard what he said, right? When he was telling them what all they did do, and then Seth says that, they got a lot of tips from the public that they wanted to investigate that the cops, wouldn't pay attention to. Well, they were getting stuff like that Chris did something, Katie did something, he's buried in the house, he's buried under the house, he's in the backyard, he's at Chris's work site. People literally were going to the work site, filming everything they could get their hands on, going to locations right around the work site, and going out into the woods and conducting their searches because they were absolutely positive they were going to find Sebastian because Chris took him to where he was working. There was live streams held about it. It was insane, y'all. But all the bullshit aside, it sounds like they were doing all that they could possibly do, right? And searching everywhere they knew to search and following the real leads. And can you imagine being cops taking leads and tips from people, hoping that one solid tip's going to come in, but you're fielding God knows how many bullshit calls because somebody on the internet got a feeling, right? We got to stop that. I don't know how to combat that either. I don't know how, because that doesn't help missing child cases, especially when they come to the internet. We think, well, the internet will be great because they can get the word out. People will know. Also, with that comes a bunch of bullshit at times. It can be hard to decipher through all of that, and trying to figure out what's real. So, Captain mentioned earlier about the lie detector test. Seth took one. Well, Nancy Grace, y'all, Nancy Grace, Lord bless your heart, girl. Sometimes you do too much, like plopping that desk down in front of the Idaho 4 house that time. was a little much. I mean, you went hard on shit back in the day, but damn, that was okay. But plopping the desk in front of the house was a little much. And going and saying, I'm going to give Seth Rogers a lie detector test that he fell asleep on was a little much. But it brought content. And we can't help it. It did, It is what it is. All right, so let's take a look at something that followed. Let's see. Okay, let me get this back up. All right, so let's play the video of Sebastian and his mom having dinner that night. Now, people were like, oh my God, that boy is eating so fast, he had to have been starving to death. She wasn't feeding that child. I was like, damn. He had the colossal popcorn earlier in the day. Y'all bitched about that. And now you're bitching because he's eating fast. But I got a boy that I got to tell it, slow down, boy. You're going to choke on that food, right? He didn't eat fast the entire time. Pay attention. What seemed like a ruse? The dinner? Or what did I might be behind on your comment. You might be commenting to something else I said. Two King Charles Cavaliers. Boy, I raised pit bulls. The dogs now are not mine. They are not pit bulls. If they were mine, they would be pit bulls. I don't know, that little dog they got here. My son's my grand dog. She's cute. She a little girl dog. Little bitty thing. Okay, so let's play this. There's no audio to it. They're sitting here. This was also leaked out, obtained, and put out. So there it is. Katie Proudfoot and Sebastian Rogers dinner at the Texas Roadhouse, February 25th. This was 6 p.m., Hendersonville, Tennessee. It appears to be a normal. What I did when this came out, I studied the background. I was looking like, everybody did really, but for me, it was like, I wasn't looking for certain people. I was looking at everybody, right? Anybody watching them eat this dinner. Anybody paying a little too much attention that probably shouldn't. Anything like that is what the kind of things I was looking for. People were focused on the way Sebastian ate his food. Oh, the Nancy Grace polygraph, yeah. Hollow leg, right? Katie's sitting there on her phone. She's doing her thing. She'll eat some of her food, off and on. But Sebastian's just like going to town. This shit's good. He was a picky eater. He was fixated on certain types of foods and wanted those, that's the way he ate. A lot of kids do that, even outside the spectrum. I had my little boy all he wanted to eat for a long time was chicken nuggets from Wendy's. What, dude? You cannot live off chicken nuggets from Wendy's. Sometimes I didn't feel like fighting that battle. Right? Damn. Buy some shit, throw it in the freezer, and when you want to argue, go get that. Pick my battles. But so Sebastian had some particular ways about the foods he did enjoy and the drinks he preferred. He's interacted with Katie a little bit there. She's still back at the phone. I don't know what she's doing. If she's on social media or chatting it up with Chris at work, I don't know. But it appears to be just, normal chilling. He's talking to his mom, it looks like. I don't know if she's just not engaging or if she's just like saying stuff but while on the phone and she's showing him something. Yeah, it looks like he's showing him something. So they're talking to each other, right? They're interacting. All right. that was that that came out. So that shows they were there. She did not tell a story. They did go to the restaurant. They did have their dinner. And they drove home. And that was not too far from their house. Does she look nervous to you guys without knowing her personally? No, I didn't get that impression, Captain. She's on the phone. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's um, her talking to him the whole time about whatever she's doing on the phone, or if she's just doing like talking to somebody else. Like I could be sitting there talking to my kid, and we could both. A lot of times the phone's not in our hands, but there's times we can have the phone in our hand and we're still talking to each other while our phone's in our hands, right? So I don't, it's hard to judge people, but no, she didn't. Seems more distracted, maybe. Yeah, she didn't seem nervous to me. No, maybe distracted, but I don't know if what that means. Distracted by what? Whoever she was talking to or whatever she was viewing on social media, whatever she was doing there. But it appeared overall to be a very normal interaction. He seemed to be fine. There didn't seem to be any strange in the background that I could ever point out. People did go 90-0 about that video. There was some outside footage as well that people picked apart about a side door, who came in, who came out. I think they went down this whole rabbit hole about a car pulls up next to Katie's and they swear Sebastian got in that car. It was a whole, y'all, it was a hot fucking mess, and I'm not rehashing that shit. I don't even feel like that's even worthy of us talking about and watching, right? Because it's nothing. It's just them walking out and getting in the car and leaving. It's crazy. It's crazy what people will make of things sometimes when there's a lack of information and there's already mudslinging and fingers being pointed, right? And um, people coming up with a lot of theories on the internet, which really happened in this case. Which did the internet take it too far with this case? Probably so. Will it continue with other cases? Probably so. Probably so. Okay, let me see what we can look at next, what I had lined up. So I kind of just want to give everybody the story of what happened here with Sebastian Rogers, because it's 2 years ago and there was a lot. And people who are new to YouTube or true crime on YouTube or just finding YouTube channels about true crime and different cases that you may have brought you here, you may be seeing a lot of this now going, what the hell is this? Who is this? What is this case about? You'll see a lot out there talked about that went on because of this case. But this is what I'm just trying to bring forth what took place in the first part of the investigation and how things kind of unfolded. And I think, Seth's got a lot, I think he's got a hard road ahead with the suing of the sheriff's department aspect. He's basing a lot of his frustration on the fact that he thinks Chris and Katie did something and they failed to investigate it properly based on that, right? So that I think he's got an uphill battle. The DCF stuff, I don't know. It depends on what's in them documents and how did the state fail on that part, that's separate. So I don't know. Okay. Let's take a look at Katie and Chris on WSMV Nashville 4 right after, when was this exactly? Day 8. Okay. This will be on day 8 of his disappearance. They never talked about him by name on the first interview. I don't even remember. It's been so long. I think I did end up seeing that very first interview. Like I said, people were extremely critical of Katie from the second she came out because they were seeing Jen Soto at the same time. And that was freaking wild to see. And I feel like some of that people who are watching both things at the same time, which a lot of the people were, it was kind of bleeding over. But I got it. I understood why. I did get some of it. Because I got questions in the beginning as well. It's like everybody else.
In Sumner County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Payton.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents on February 25th in Hendersonville. Sebastian has autism, and he's gone without his medication this whole time. And since then, authorities have searched by air, by foot, and on horseback.
Helicopters, drones, and dive teams have also been brought in to try to find him. Today, his parents spoke exclusively to our Holly Thompson.
She's live tonight in Sumner County. Holly, I imagine it was quite an emotional interview.
Certainly was. It is hard for any of us to imagine the emotions that this family is going through right now. But we know one thing is certain. They remain positive. They are holding on to hope that their son Sebastian will return home safely.
Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sebastian will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up Sebastian around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I don't know why he walked out that door. Could you imagine if that happened? You wake up and your child is gone. I couldn't imagine. Thank you, Karen. That comment alone makes this worth it. I appreciate that. Yeah, I did too, and I had to dip out when it got too convoluted. It's crazy. So I appreciate that. I'm just trying to give everybody a little bit of backstory and play the investigation part that, we just reviewed, because that's what Seth's suing about, right?
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means.
Katie and Chris say Sebastian is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. That morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sebastian vanished. No sign of him on any video throughout the community. Thousands of miles logged by law enforcement, canines, helicopters, even dive teams, and no sign of him. Chris and Katie tell me they've been harassed, people pointing fingers at them.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts.
Are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies across the board. We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided.
What do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
That we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
People are like, why would she say he's not in trouble? What if he did leave on his own free will?
Now, Katie did tell me that even though Sebastian does
Does have autism. He is a smart teenager. He is highly functional. They say if you see him, say his name, say Sebastian, and he'll respond. He'll at least acknowledge you. And I can tell you, this is my home. This is my community. And the people here are strong. They say they will continue to search. They will continue to hope and continue to pray for Sebastian's safe return.
Now, Sebastian was high functioning. It was not like he was not nonverbal or any of those things, right? He absolutely could communicate and could carry on a conversation with you as well. Parents and step parents are responsible for 63.5%. That's way too high. 1%, 0.5% of their autistic children. Is that just autistic children alone, or all children, right, Captain? I don't think it's just, um, you know, there's a lot of parents out there who unalive their children, unfortunately, and they're not all autistic. So I don't know. Does that include all children or just autistic? That's crazy. That's a number we shouldn't want to live with, right? It really isn't. I think there's a lot of parents. There's a lot of parents out there raising autistic children on a spectrum who don't lose their shit and unalive their babies, right? A lot of frustrated single parents out there that don't get to that point where I just can't take it anymore, and all of the things. There's wow. That was just the autistic numbers. Okay. That's crazy. What triggers that kind of number, right? Is it frustration of raising a child with special needs? Or do they already have some sort of, the parent have an issue where they can't cope with what's handed to them? I don't know. That's an interesting, that'd be an interesting study to conduct, wouldn't it? Hmm. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I get it. I get you. You're just posting the facts there, and I appreciate it. I mean, that's crazy to be a number like that, right? What would trigger that? That is too high. What causes that, right? Okay, so this is Nancy Grace. We're going to talk about that lie detector now. So now we saw Chris and Katie, and now we're going to see a little bit of Seth here. When did this one air? Let's see, because they took down the original polygraph episode, right? So we're getting the few days later. Let's clean it all up. Recap bullshit. Let's be real. Seth Rogers took a polygraph for Nancy Grace. Like I said, during the polygraph, he dozes off. I guess it was a little too boring. I'm not sure what happened. Allegedly, I have thoughts. Medication may or may not have been involved. Maybe he was exhausted and tired. This occurred, May 7th, one of my son's birthday. May 7, 2024. Okay, so this is in May, 4 months after Sebastian disappears. So in the 4-month period, a lot has went down on the internet and a lot of shit was said, right? By both sets of parents, or I should say the stepfather and the bio dad, because mom really didn't have a ton to say. All right, so here we go. Nancy Grace. Bring it, Miss Nancy. Nancy. All right. We'll let her do her little intro and get us started, guys. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I might jump in the chat for a second. I might walk out back for a minute.
Moment when I put Sebastian's father, Seth, on the hot seat on national TV and asked him, would he be willing to take a polygraph? He said yes. He did take a polygraph. Straight back out to Seth Rogers. Joining us is Sebastian's father. And now joining us is a renowned polygrapher, Kendall Schewel, former head of the entire FBI polygraph program in D.C., former special agent with the FBI in D.C. He is at Kendall Investigations. Also joining us, Tony Mathis, who is helping Seth Rogers as he walks this very, very rocky path. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is a yes, no, Kendall Schewel. Did Seth Rogers pass his polygraph?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in. Let's get to the truth of that polygraph. Seth, what happened?
I showed up early for the polygraph. Mr. Kendall contacted me and told me that he'd be there well before the time that we had stated. So I showed up and I sat in the chair and let him attach those things to me and took the polygraph.
Have you ever had a polygraph before?
No, ma'am.
And what kind of questions did the polygrapher Kendall Schewel ask you?
If I had ever wanted to harm anybody, if I ever wanted to hurt my son, if I had ever hurt my son, if I'd ever had anything to do with his disappearance.
Question. You said they hooked you up. What do you mean by that, Seth Rogers?
They put things on my hands. They wrapped cords around me. They had a blood pressure cuff on me to measure my blood pressure, measure my heart rate, my breathing rate, things like that.
How long did it take?
It took a minute.
It took 60 seconds. Could you be precise or more precise? How long do you think it took?
We were there for 3 hours, 4 hours.
That's about right. It's not easy. Okay, sit tight, Seth. And again, thank you for being with us. Out to Kendall Schewel, as I told you, former head of the entire FBI polygraph program in D.C. Kendall, thank you. When we put out the word that Seth Rogers would take a polygraph, we contacted you because of your reputation. You quickly agreed, and I thank you for that. Again, this was not free. He was paid to do the polygraph. He owes nothing to anybody and therefore was not swayed one way or the other. He had never met Seth Rogers before in his life. Mr. Schewel, I've looked very carefully at your polygraph report right here. Number one, you start off by saying it was conducted using a comparison question format that meets U.S. government standards. What is a comparison question format? What is that?
It's a format that's well accepted by the polygraph community, particularly the American Polygraph Association. There are certain formats that we can use that are more acceptable, that we know are more reliable, and this was one of those. Certainly a test format that I would want to use to make sure we're doing everything right to get the correct results. And this is again a format of polygraph that is widely accepted as a standard in the FBI world and in the polygraph world in general.
Yesterday fired his PI. And then people could say fire, she let go, she quit, they came with two different directions, whatever, she's gone. And that's Chloe. And I can say, you know, Magnolia with me got to speak to Chloe a lot up there in the search things. And Magnolia told me, and I never got to speak to Chloe. Magnolia said, you know, she's a very professional, nice, hard-working person. That's Magnolia told me that. Because I was like, what, is she okay? Is she legit? She's what? She's like, yeah, no, she's good. She's actually doing work. And she left. But yesterday she gave a comment. And I want to share this comment because she shares her theory on what happened to Sebastian. And it seems like her theory is right here, that he walked away from the home. Chloe responded to this yesterday. I don't blame Katie. My last public interview, I said my most.
Y'all hear that? I forgot that was on there. So there's JLR going on and on about Magnolia. Go figure. All right. So JLR blocked me a long time ago, but Chloe here, she's the hang on. She was the private eye, right? She was the private eye we heard a few minutes ago on that call. All right. So Chloe shared her theory, and this is what I asked her. This is all an X, right? A long time ago. It's back when I was True Crime Time. I had to change my name because there was somebody else that had a name like that, turns out, and people were getting confused. So I was like, oh, screw that. We're changing it. Anyway, same avatar picture. She had posted she was open to questions, although I'm sure there are some I will not be able to answer. And please do not allow this statement to further distract you from the goal of all of this. Continue to share Sebastian's face. Continue to advocate for him. He is all that matters. Well, they had a falling out at some point with these PIs. Some shit went down. All right. And I said, you were asked to step down. Is it because you blame Katie and Seth no longer does? Because Seth changed his mind at one point. And then she says, I do not blame Katie. Since when, Chloe? And my last public interview, I said my most likely theory is he walked away from the home. I wonder what changed the PI's mind and made her start thinking that. And then she says, please don't perpetuate drama. That's what she said to me. Ma'am, go back over the last 2 years and see who did not participate in the drama. It would be Salty Sleuth. So thank you for answering my question there, P.I. Chloe. Where you been, girl? Where you been lately? Where you been? Is the license still good? Is it expired? What's going on? Have questions? You care to do an interview? We have investigative questions about this investigation. This man is suing the department over the investigation. So we'd like to know more about the investigation. You, being a private eye, may have some more about the investigation. You and your buddy Heather, the singer, and the YouTube investigator, Steve Fisher. Or no, the Twitter investigator, Steve Fisher. Got those YouTube lawyers, YouTube doctors, and Twitter investigators. Fuck, we are covered. Chloe might need some help getting a clue. Hey, Subtext. Hey, y'all. How y'all? Welcome in, all my friends. Chloe, I'm drawing a line to you, girl. JLR, what you got to say about you? Wait. Let's go back. Maybe I should pull them old videos where JLR has me blocked on the Twitters, but was constantly still seeing my posts and snatching them and putting them in his videos. And, oh, this one's got a good question. Dude, shut up. Unblock a girl, why don't you? I can use my other account and come in the back door and look at you anyway if I cared. It's called Recon, Bubba.
Came with two different.
Uh-oh. Why does my shit keep messing up? Is it drunk? Well, I've got to keep checking my internet connection. It says I am connected. And it says we are good.
Different directions, whatever. She's gone. And that's Chloe. And I can say, Magnolia with me got to speak to Chloe a lot up there in the search things. And Magnolia told me, and I never got to speak to Chloe. Magnolia said, you know, she's a very professional, nice, hard-working person. That's Magnolia told me that because I was like, what? Is she okay? Is she legit? She's what? She's like, yeah, no, she's good. She's actually doing work, and she left. But yesterday she gave a comment, and I want to share this comment because she shares her theory on what happened to Sebastian, and it seems like her theory is right here that he walked away from the home. Chloe responded to this yesterday. I don't blame Katie. My last public interview, I said my most likely.
That's enough out of you, Bubba. You damn comment stealer and highlighting my shit because you can't think of nothing good to say yourself, but go and block me. Kind of like that sidekick you hang around with, your bodyguard with all the tats. Big man. Gonna block a bitch. Go right ahead. No harm, no foul. Good riddance to bad rubbish and all that jive. Men are such weenies. Actually, some women, what the hell? I don't know what that is. But damn, dudes, get a grip. Okay. Now, those damn PIs went over there on the web sleuths and did a whole ass stream. And I believe that's when Christopher Proudfoot joined them over there. They also used to go on to Cluminati's chat. Cluminati lives not far from Hendersonville, Tennessee. So she was going to go all boots on the ground. And then one day she shows up out there for a search. The local news media captures the streamers that show up, and she's accidentally seen on camera, and so she decided it was time to go on camera. Anyway, so Cluminati got in there, and I don't know how it happened, but she ended up talking to Chris and Katie. I believe they're friends now, but Chris, I should say, was making the rounds. He did the now earlier when Seth went live with Bullhorn Betty. They had a lady named Smiley on the panel, and Smiley is a creator. I never watched that lady before. I was never watched Bullhorn Betty before. I didn't know all that shit. I was not one of them weird TikTok girls and would have thought the bullhorn was cool. But that Smiley chick did, I think she might have done the first interview on the social medias with Chris Proudfoot. Or that was Duchess. I can't remember. It was one of the two. She was very early on. So she's been around for a long time, right? They hired Magnum PI. Don't. It gives me flashbacks to think about Magnum PI, and y'all don't want to know the story. It's too much. It involves Magnum PI and Ozzy Osbourne and a late night trip down a road I never want to go back down again. Good times had by all. Mid-'80s circa. Anyway. Captain, don't take me astray. I'll start running feral and we'll get sidetracked. All right, Tony Mathis is no longer with us, but Tony Mathis was a spokesperson for the Caleb Harris family because he worked in the... hold on. Someone's entering my home. It better be my son and grandson. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, yeah, I hear my grandson's phone. I hear my grandson. Hang on. Okay, sorry. I had to give them instructions on where their dogs stood. All right. All right, so Tony's no longer with us, though he passed away. He was Caleb's family's spokesperson first. He worked in the big crane industry, and so did Caleb's father. So then, after this happened with Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, stuff was going south on the internet real quick because of Seth's behavior, right? And he had to get like a media person, spokesperson, whatever. Tony Mathis came into the picture. So that's how he got involved, and then he started going all over, tried to get a national media campaign going, get out onto like News Nation and Court TV, and anybody he could get to talk to him. Of course, get the name out there, get Sebastian out there. But he made such a mess of the case as well. He would go on TikTok live, and he was all over those TikTok girls. He was up their ass almost, and they were falling all over him because everybody wanted that interview, wanted that story, wanted that back door to the investigation, right? So it just kind of made it even more pathetic. And K9 Jules out there running amok with her stories and acting abilities, and that made it even stranger. Too much. Bullhorn Betty and JLR are perfect. Yeah, they always have been. They were a thing, right? Shit went south. You met Magnolia, something, I don't know. It was like a TV show. That dude, even before all this Nancy Guthrie stuff, a lot of us were on to that guy and his wicked ways. I heard some more stuff earlier, but it pertained to Magnolia, and I was like, man, and I heard it in the strangest place. I didn't even expect it. I was like, what is happening? I wish I had not heard that, but okay. I'm not gonna, yeah, yikes. Ew. Let's see, is Seth still alive? I'll show you something, though, to give you a little taste of, let me see if because I didn't save that. We have some other stuff we can look at, but it's not like Magnolia versus JLR new court filing. Oh, God, no. Well, all right, just to give a little taste of how, let me do this. All right, hold on. Let me make sure this is what I saw first. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me get it where we need it. Okay. This is probably a good starting point. All right, we're going to review a little bit of Bullhorn Betty just from the other night, just a few minutes of it, give you a little idea. If y'all know, you know, she can be quite wacko. You might be a fan, I don't know. So she's doing her bit
by detectives. When that search was scaled back, the paperwork alleges only one detective was assigned to the case.
I don't even know if a tip comes in, if I shouldn't track it down, because I don't know if they can do their job properly. Because so far they haven't. Their lack of communication with the public, their lack of communication with me is all telling me that they don't care that my son is missing.
The lawsuit claims the Department of Children's Services was involved in the home where Sebastian Rogers lived, but detectives did not take that information into account. Rogers is also suing DCS, but that lawsuit is sealed.
A parent demands answers. We demand answers because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Seth Rogers is seeking $10 million in damages and wants the case to be reopened and a new active investigation started into Sebastian's disappearance. We reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for a statement on the lawsuit, but have not yet heard back. Now, last August, the Sumner County District Attorney said there is more work to be done and they are searching for answers in this case. To read the full lawsuit, head to our website at WKRN.com.
All I know is it should be local media out there in this area pushing for answers for this young boy in their community. And unfortunately, they are not. This is driving me nuts. I'm probably going to kick this thing down. Hold on, I'm doing something else.
The hell? I don't ever watch this lady, y'all. I don't know what to expect. She might scare me.
I noticed that every time I move my, I wonder why my regular camera doesn't work on here whenever I do that, but that's okay. We'll move it back to, oops, wrong one.
Yeah, Betty's been around a long time. Like, she did a lot. The Gabby Petito case, her and old JLR down there running amok together. She's a lot. She's a bit much for my taste.
Probably not going to do anything about it. We're just off, so until we... Oh, it looks like we got back. Okay. So I might be able to roll with this. We'll see how well we do. But we do have the document here, and I think one of the biggest problems I have is the report findings. I'm going to have to use my glasses for this. I can't read. Well, yeah, I might be able to read. So it says through CPIT. Now, CPIT stands for Child Protective Investigative Team. Okay, so the Department of Children and Family Services has this Child Protective Investigative Team called CPIT. The CPIT includes MCSO, which is Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Juvenile Court, Ashley's Place Child Advocacy Center, and District Assistant DA Jenny Smith. And this was on November 3rd, 2022. November 3rd, 2022. Okay? This is not the 2023 gut punch incident. This is a different incident in November 2022 and again in May 2023. So we have November 2022, then we got December, January, February, March, April, and May. 6 months later, we've got another report again in May, on May 23rd, or excuse me, May 2023. And the SCSO participated in CPIT proceedings regarding Sebastian. The DCS case, and detectives were assigned to the case through CPIT. So they had actual detectives assigned to Sebastian's case. So this is the one problematic. We're going to go over this more in detail as the information, as we go through it, when we do heads that are out here, like on Queen Bee's pathetic channel.
What?
That sits there and rags a father that's missing his child over yet again another criminal, just like in Don Wells' case. It seems like Queen Bee and her crew of misfits literally sits there and finds out the biggest piece of garbage out there that do terrible things to children, and then they want to go and protect those terrible people. And she literally has an audience that sit there and roos her on to help these terrible people that have abused children, punched children in their stomach. But this is from a lady that sits there and says her older daughter is the one that was never home, is the one that put the strangulation marks on her younger daughter's throat.
The fuck? What are you doing?
Queen Bee, don't you have some things you gotta... Now, let me ask you something, Queen Bee. Is the reason why you're always protecting these terrible parents that abuse children, is it because you abuse your own child? Or children? I mean, I'm just asking for a few people out here because I have these questions. Because I've never met a piece of shit.
Oh, damn.
That literally finds the biggest dirtbags of parents and then sits there and tries to cover their case and twist it and make them look like they're in a positive light.
Damn, Bullhorn.
Chris said in the report with law enforcement, the neighbors reported, Queen Bee, I want you to answer this. You sick piece of crap.
Oh, goodness.
I would like to find out, what do you truly believe here? Because the reports that you don't get to see shows Chris admitting to punching this boy in the stomach. What do you have to say?
Whoa, Queen Bee, what you got to say, ma'am? She probably got a lot to say. We should probably go find out. Popcorn time. See? What the hell happened?
Hey, you ogre, disgusting piece of crap.
Shit.
And your little toy boy, B. Tim, what's his name? Tim.
She called B. Tim Queen Bee's boy toy? Yikes. There's enough of those deceased and deceased slinging between these two already, Captain. At this point, they can say whatever they want. It's fair game on the internet.
I got your name, by the
Haven't you heard? Damn.
way. So the next time you want to run your gator about Bullhorn Betty, you can deal with Bullhorn Betty yourself. I got your name. I know where you're from. Mr. Bronx. Ghetto piece of garbage.
Oh, God.
So now Chris is abusing these people, and they're on their panel trying to give him a plug.
And you're plugging Seth. And they're plugging Chris. And the battle lines were drawn a year and a half ago. Actually, longer than that now. And here we are. Drama-filled streams. You said this about me. I'm going to go live and say that about you. How dare you say that about me? Well, you said this about me. Meanwhile, Sebastian Rogers is still missing. Bullhorn.
How do you guys... I want to ask these people that support that garbage channel. Had I did that 2 years ago, you guys would have been jumping down my throat.
Oh.
But it's okay for Queen Bee. It's so funny. You know what she said yesterday? Let me tell you what she said yesterday.
You're going to tell us.
After all the shit she's talked about me and everybody else on this platform, and she goes out there to those court records and gets these little complaints and says, look how horrible this person is. Look, it's in the court record. Look. Right? And then
what in the hell?
Yesterday, she's like, oh, well, it's just allegations. You know, this is just what they're saying. It's just allegations. Oh, my God, it's just allegations. Oh, really? But you weren't saying that when you were smearing all these umpteen million other people on these same things, right? You weren't saying that whenever it was you on the other end of that, Miss Rebecca, was it?
Shoot.
Was it? Was it when you were on the other end of this, Miss Rebecca? Is the reason why you protect all these people is because you abuse your own children?
God.
I'm asking you, Queen Bee. I'd like you to answer it. I'll be waiting for your answer on your show. So we know that Jelly Pot.
Okay. So y'all get an example of how some of this shit's been going down out there for all this time. Now, I don't know that Bullhorn was all up in the mix of that allegedly Brittany BJ lady and the Granny's lady watching stuff. I don't think Bullhorn was in the middle of all that. But Bullhorn's got her own issues with the Queen Bee. I do know that. And, of course, this case. It is insane. Maybe medication would help them, right, Forrest? Lots of it. They need to get some of that mental health evaluations done. A lot of them. Leva says, I was around when Summer went missing. Listening to Betty is a blast from the past. Oh, goodness. Medication. I thought we all might need some medication now. I'm feeling a little bit anxious. I'm not sure what to do next. Hey, Cindy, one of my feral friends. What'd you walk into? Well, we were just reviewing Bullhorn Betty, reviewing. Well, she was big mad at Queen Bee apparently for some shit Queen Bee is reading the Seth Rogers lawsuit document. You know, they got to take up for their whoever's side they took up for all this time. This is who Joe Schmuck hangs with now. Does he hang out over at Queen Bee's or in Bullhorn's chat? Have you seen him anywhere? I don't know. Now, so when Joe, you talking about Joe Schmo, maybe? So when Joe got in trouble here, when things were going down, right? And I was encouraging him to go ahead and go live, dude, and say your piece, get it out there. He decided to go over there on the Queen Bee panel. And I was like, dude, what did you go on the Queen Bee for, or want to go on Queen Bee for? What were you doing? What was late? And I was like, but why there? Like, did you honestly think they were going to get to the bottom of what was real and what was not the night you took the little video in the bar? But they don't unpack true crime and facts over there, dude. They want to know the drama. They want to know what was going down. He said, she said, that type shit. But you go ahead and do you, buddy. And then somebody suggested maybe he go to Turtle Boy. And I was like, what the fuck? Turtle Boy to say your piece about why you took up for HTC and threw your friend Crescia under the bus? Turtle Boy? Karen Reed Turtle Boy? Okay. The next thing I know, Turtle Boy's live drawing on eyebrows. Can't make this shit up, y'all. Oh my God. I don't know, Elizabeth. There's RICO stuff. There was. We read one of the lawsuit documents when it was first filed just the other day to kind of get a backstory because with Nick at Night. Why do I keep saying that? Nick the Hat, the allegedly Brittany J lady. There's channels out there unpacking all of that stuff still. Allegedly, Krama or speculating. Did she have 2 channels? Nonsense, J for Justice, they're all Queen Bee. They all talk about it. They know way more than I do. I'm just outsider looking in at all that mess. When it got hot messed, I hot messed on up out of there. Turtle Boy eyebrows were funny. I didn't watch all. I seen it, the thumbnails, and I probably caught 10 minutes of the show. Look, he found something else besides Karen Reed to talk about for 5 minutes. He drew on some eyebrows, made a bunch of money, and peaced out. Oh, I mean, he came in and reported on the situation at hand and left to go on to more important matters. Oh, goodness. He's good at roasting, I suppose. But, like I said, during the height of all that madness, it doesn't take much to sit up here and tear down the lady's looks, did it? I would love to point out all her other misgivings, like her narcissistic ways and her manipulative behavior and her manipulative tactics on the internet, using a family to gain sympathy and clicks and views, all that stuff. Yeah. Easy to talk about her looks all day and twice on Sunday. Yeah, so Tex, you're not missing anything. Thank God, right? There's just a lot out there about it. Hell, and I've been into the couple of the chats lately. I avoided that shit for so long. Like, I got so lost. I don't know what they got to arguing about it over the past year, especially. Because I just didn't go consume any of that. But I knew it was all going on. But I've popped into a couple of chats lately, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't get into all of that. Because I knew the early players, because I was there when they all met. What I mean including the Truth guy. Truth Not Feelings. Truth whatever his name is now. Truth. Y'all will learn about him on Jay's. When they all met. Not Jay and them, but Truth and Clue. And the drama of Sebastian began to unfold. And knowing that Chris was always over on Clues stuff. And yeah, it was a whole thing, right? I don't even know how to rehash all of that. But you can't not talk about some of that sometimes when talking about Sebastian's case, even though it's got nothing to do with his disappearance, right? Makes sense? Like no, it don't, because it don't make sense to me half the time. I never understood what was happening around me when this case was going down like it did. It was poor child. And the crazy part is, y'all, we don't have any solid leads or which way to look with where Sebastian may have went when he left that house. If they don't see him leave on camera, the same camera that saw him take the trash out, and the same camera that can see the bedroom lights come on. Let's pull the house back up again. We heard Weatherford say that. They see him arrive home with his mom. They see them go in the house. They see him take the garbage out. They see him go in his room. They see lights come and gone, come on and off in his room. But they never see him exit the home. So if you look to the right side or the left side of the home where the driveway is, there's garage doors on that side. Remember, the home security cameras did not work. We don't know why, but they didn't. So could he have exited out of one of those doors? What about the neighboring home camera? It was just a ring cam at the front. What about the house dead ass behind them with a ring cam? Now, actually, let me make a note, because that's the one footage I don't have for today. Wait, did I save it in a Twitter post? Because I think back here is where the footage is. There's a figure moving about. Because I've got some old playlists or old pinned folders saved with that kind of information in it. So anyway, back to the doors. Side doors here that maybe nobody's seen out of the cameras, because the garbage cans were out here at the curtilage. If their cameras weren't working, what saw Sebastian come home, get out of the car, go inside, and then take the garbage out across the street? This was last year. We've looked all over these maps in the past. I just wanted, for those of you who never seen the area, it's always good to get that visual if you're like me, most of us. And again, at Stafford was a cul-de-sac dead end, right? So the scent dog did go around the house and back toward Kellen. So then you go this side. To come down that side of the house, the way the scent dog went to the right side there, it'd come out the front door, or at least out of the garage and around the front of the house, down the side, right? And there's a back door on the back side of the house. So did he possibly go out the back door? Did he open the window and climb out of the window? Did Sebastian routinely leave the house in the middle of the night? Apparently he loved cats. And there was this little cat the neighbor had that Sebastian was apparently obsessed with. I always wanted to go get the cat. Things of that, something to do with this cat. Chris even talked about the cat. And I thought, no shoes, little flashlight. Did he hear the cat? Cats are always meowing 2 o'clock in the morning outside the window. If they're hungry, they will. If they're just prowling, they will. I got cats. I got an indoor cat and an outdoor cat. Did he go outside after the damn cat? Did he run after the cat? See, I had 1,000 questions that could never be answered. All right, now we're on Kellen. So if you leave Sebastian's Road right there, Stafford, you come out to Kellen. If you go out to the right, you're going to leave the neighborhood. If you go down left, you're going to end up back behind their house, all the way up, like I said, toward that retention pond. Now I want to get back at the other view. Let me switch. Hang on, let me see what y'all are saying. Yeah, they couldn't verify if it was Sebastian. Well, they've said they have. This conflicting reports. I don't know why they couldn't have verified it was Sebastian. It was just Katie and Sebastian at home. Do they look that much alike? No. They got very different builds. So if it was great, even if it was not a perfect photo of who took the garbage out, I'm pretty sure they could tell versus Katie versus Sebastian taking the garbage out, right? Someone took the garbage out in that home. I would say it was probably simple to tell if it was Sebastian or not based on that alone. Was it him or was it her? She said he took it out. It was his chore. You'll hear people out there right now say, did he ever make it home? We have no proof he ever made it home from that dinner. Really? They searched a landfill nearby in Kentucky because that's where that garbage went to, because that's where a figure was seen taking the garbage out. They see the lights coming on and off in the bedroom. They see them get out of the car and go in the house. How can people say he never made it home? Katie's car, don't you think Captain had lots of onboard capabilities that would not be easy for her to finagle and hide? Unless she had them fancy onboard wiping capabilities like Koberger may have had for his wiping device system shit. Right? So even when I start having my own theories, I will do my damnedest to poke holes in them if I can, because even my conspiracy theories have to make fucking sense, right? I can't have a weird conspiracy theory that I just dreamed up that sounds cute. I got to make it make sense, even if it's conspiracy, or else it don't work. Okay, Elizabeth, you came to YouTube after having some life-altering surgery. Well, I hope things have worked out for you and that you're doing well now. Followed true crime on YouTube. Started researching Daybell. Well, that's a good one to research, right? Lori's out there fighting her appeal now in Idaho. Crazy heifer. She just did that recent interview with Colby from prison. Sometimes, Rachel, you can't avoid that drama. It's all over the place, and all the cases have it. It's whether we choose to participate. And I've been around long enough to know when the cases start getting there and creators are starting to have issues, like Guthrie case, there's creator issues. Y'all see what I'm saying? When that kind of stuff starts happening, I try to distance myself from it and not be a part of it. I see it. I'm not no better than anybody else, but I don't want to be a part of all that crap. It's just not who I am. And if I was different, maybe it would be different. I've come on here and raged before and ranting and all that stuff, but I'm not, I try not to stay in that place for long. Crazy heifer. Crazy, crazy. They pulled the GPS from her car, tested and tells you where she went. Yeah. A lot of cars have that now, especially if people sign up and pay for their whatever. Like with Koberger's car, we always wondered what kind of capabilities his car had. If he had a certain model, he would have had what they had back then available for his car, but you would have had to pay for the subscription for it to retain certain information, right? We knew that with Koberger's car early in, but so many people didn't want to listen. Turns out we were right. A lot of us do our due diligence and we deep dive and we know people to go ask and we know where to go find information that we really want to get our hands on, especially when it comes to these vehicles and what they can and cannot retain. People will be shocked. Not only is your phone collecting everything about you to get you in trouble later, so is your car now, right? So what we going to start doing? Getting burner phones and burner cars? Oh, Lord. Can't get the rental car, paper trail, and all that. Infinity, it comes standard, right? The interview could have gone better, but also worse. All right, let me see. Let's see. Let me check something. Let me go see if they're still live over there on Seth's channel. He did a live 8 months ago. I think it was. That's what it says. It says been too long. I thought it was more recent than that. 2 weeks ago, Media Hungry Really. Did I not see that? Is that a live from 2 weeks ago? A 2.5 hour live? And then 2 hours ago, he did a live called Where's My Son? And all right, let's take a little bit of a look-see-loo at this. Muscle cars pre-1980, hell yeah. Anytime, all day. My daddy built one of the finest I've ever seen. Candy apple red, 1979 Chevelle. Lay you back in the seat when he puts you in it and said, "Hold on, girl. Buckle up, buttercup. We're going for a ride." Daddy was a race car driver. My first car had a nice engine in her. I love me some muscle cars. All right, let's get Seth up here. I don't even know why you're talking about it. I just looked down and saw your comment. I'm starting to get hungry, guys. His Tahoe ratted him out. Whose Tahoe? What happened? The 2014, they additionally have a black box that is under the console. Okay, yeah. Your black box is a lot. 69 Chevelle SS red. Yes, there you go. Captain, I built my 67. Hey, 67's a fine year. Mustang Fastback. My aunt had a 68, a 390. My first car was a 1979 Gran Torino with 351 Cleveland. I loved that car. My bonus dad bought me that car. Alec Murdaugh. Okay, Captain. Let's see. All right. This is a little bit. Let's see what Seth
People,
did earlier.
I hope everybody's doing well this evening.
He's kind of slow.
Wow, chat is definitely moving faster than I can see what's going on. I will say hi to everybody. Now I've got a few people that's going to come up on panel because people want to ask questions. This is pretty much going to be a Q&A about the filing. Anything that is stated in the filing I can speak about. If it's not in the filing and it's coordinated with DCS, then obviously I can't speak about it. I do, again, appreciate everybody that's here. Our first guest on panel will be none other but the Bullhorn Betty.
Hello, my guys. Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody is doing well this evening.
Okay, stop. I cannot do her on fast speed. Oh, God.
Evening. I just wanted to make sure the moderation was slowed down, so the chat was slowed. And
Sometimes you can't slow it down enough for me to even read it.
yeah, but we got plenty of moderators, by the way. Thank you, moderators, for being in the chat. We appreciate you.
I would like to say thank you to the moderators and just
A Chevy Bel Air hardtop, Rocket Forest.
Stay on topic. If somebody comes in and they're not staying on topic,
Gaslighting, being rude. Say what you mean, but you don't have to be disrespectful. Don't be a Richard.
Don't be carrying a bag of Richards with you.
What?
Don't smile.
Don't be a Richards. What? Like a Karen? I may not know today's slang. I'm old. Like a Karen.
Don't smile, Betty.
It just took me off guard. That's all. Back on track.
Yeah. It is definitely. It has taken a.
Indy, we weren't drag racers. I mean, I knew. Well, one of my brothers, it was for a while. Been to the drag strip, yeah, but we were dirt track racers and asphalt circle track racers. My dad was a circle track asphalt racer for years and years and years. A lot of my cousins were dirt track racers. And then in my dad's senior years, him and one of my youngest brother were mud truck racers. It's in the blood. We go fast. We like to go fast.
Lot to get to this.
And when we slow down, we fish.
This point. And I shouldn't have to file a lawsuit just to get people to do their job. And it's horrible. I don't want other parents to go through this. I've reached out to a lot of politicians, a lot of people who make the laws here in Tennessee, and for some odd reason, they just want to ignore the fact that there's a child missing. And
when I see the Gonzalez family out here doing interviews, I don't see them talking about their active lawsuit with the WSU. Civil suit. Don't see it. I don't see questions asked. I don't know if it's talked about beforehand. We're not going to answer any questions. Don't ask them about that lawsuit. It's a pending lawsuit. But Seth's going to go live and talk about the lawsuit. He better be careful. It's going to get subpoenaed. I don't want my commentary in it. Shh.
We need to take care of our children. Society is supposed to be taking care of their children.
I didn't comment in the comment section. I'm not stupid. One time they did a subpoena in the Koberger case for a couple of YouTube channels. They wanted everything about it. Subscriber numbers, the count, the names, the chat. Like, what the fuck? No. Y'all be careful where you commenting. And careful what you actually comment on and what you say in that comment. Private eyes will be watching you.
Because their children are the next people that hold office, hold positions within the community, and help build and keep the community alive. And what is going on is just it's not accepted. It shouldn't be tolerated, and it seems like it is tolerated. And it seems that people get tired of saying the same thing. And, when you complain to your teacher, then you complain to your teacher's boss, then you complain to the principal, right, then you complain to the school board. And
who else comes on this panel? Oh, Lordy, I done messed it up. Stupid thing.
Professional search and situation at the beginning that should have been cut off. Nobody should have been allowed in that house until the child was found. That's typically standard op, in my opinion.
Hey guys, hey Betty, I think you're absolutely spot on. More and more of these children are being reported missing. Hey Jen, hey guys, they're reported missing, but they're really not missing. Something else happened, right? Like the Javea Harris case, very newest one that I covered. So
right. Yeah. My car was searched because of that case, which again, another missed opportunity for this. Think about how many cases.
Her car was searched. What? Betty? Why was your car searched, Betty? Were you suspicious? Oh, Betty's out there being sus, y'all, getting her shit searched. Man, slow your roll, cowgirl. All right, lady in the top right, that smiley. I seen her like one time on the internet, and I thought she looked maybe her hair was different. She reminds me of that Clutch Them Pearls person. Um, Jen on the bottom right, don't know her. Don't know Lady Freedom. They could have been anybody at any point in given time. I think a lot of the people in this community of whatever that is has a lot of alts. I'm just saying, from what I hear.
I've been boots on the ground at a missing child's case, and I've never had my vehicle searched. They don't know me from Adam. They don't know whether I'm coming in and going out. You know, I mean, and this was the first time that my car was actually searched for a missing child. I felt like I wasn't offended at all. The only thing I was offended about is like, why isn't this standard operating procedure for a missing child?
Oh, you liar.
Yeah, they were searching, like, they're doing.
She's such a liar. She was probably so offended that her car of all people's was searched. I'm just here to help.
Like checkpoints, right?
They had one. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, there was two different ones. There was one right there going in, and I introduced myself to the officer and said, where's this, staging ground for media? And so I had.
When was this, Jax? Tonight. When we were live earlier, stuck in vertical mode, remember? And then we shut it down, and I came back to part 2 here. He went live at 7 Central. So right after we shut the live down. And so now they're done, and this was tonight. Yeah.
I had to go through him, and then I went up there and I engaged with 2 other officers, and they're like, we understand here's where you stage at, but we still have a missing 4-year-old. Do you mind if we search your vehicle? And I'm like, yeah, my vehicle's full of, equipment, but have at it,
Oh my
have at
God.
it.
Yes.
So.
Wow. That's amazing. But they shut it down because they were thinking she was abducted, right? I think they wanted to make sure anybody in and out was not involved.
I don't know. You know what, to be honest with you, it was, I know that she wasn't just a normal missing child.
What?
When that happened, because again, I've never had that happen on any.
What is a normal missing child? What constitutes a normal missing child? Case or child? What are you talking about, Betty? You prioritize missing children or something? Normal, abnormal? What the fuck, Betty?
Any of the cases I.
What kind of bullhorn shit is that?
So I already knew that there was already another element, so to speak, that was a little different.
So have we all looked at the lawsuit?
Well, that's what we were getting into when you guys were getting in there. I wanted to
go ahead, Betty.
to
because I haven't had a
explain.
chance to look at the whole thing. I'm gonna go over it later, is what I told.
I haven't had a chance to go over it later. You're here to talk about it, aren't you? It's the whole point of the live stream, Smiley. Smiley must have been busy, y'all. Go give her some grace. She's got to do her research and all that stuff.
Everybody yesterday on my panel, and
I listened to it. By the way, I'll say that I didn't read it myself, but I did listen.
I'd like to
it
talk
being
about
read.
Title IV. Title IV.
Okay.
I don't even know which paragraph.
Title IV is going to be.
Before we get into that, can I ask?
They're like, "Oh, you want to discuss real shit? Oh, what about what real stuff? Title what?"
Seth, he may not want to do that, but so this is coming out in the lawsuit. What your lawyers has put out is there's more in there that's redacted and stuff like that, right? That may come out or may not come out, right?
Correct.
See, they don't care about no. We got to know about that redacted stuff, Seth. Let's get it out there.
Okay, so just to clear this up, because I've heard this around the internet. So can we put it like we've had in a private conversation, which I didn't ask you, but you said it yourself. But so I just want to clear this up for everybody watching. It might be helpful. So you said this was one of the reasons that the C&Ds, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, but you said this was one of the reasons that the C&Ds come out, because we all know that the papers got took from you. Okay, we don't have to name names and stuff like that. And
the papers got took from you. We don't got to name names and stuff. C&Ds, cease and desist. Somebody took some papers from you, Seth. You let the devil in, dude.
Oh, you're talking about the Department of Children.
Yeah. I just want to say, I'd like to clear this up real quick.
Were to put a space between me and that individual.
And they leaked said documents.
Individual. so that when DCS, if they hit the public, and it's not going to be by me, if they hit the public, it would know that when they sat there and came back and traced it to whoever, well, on file, I have a cease and desist, meaning I'm not only are they not supposed to be sharing any information that they have received, that I am not sharing and giving them permission to share anything that they have taken from me.
Yeah, because you didn't want, because they could arrest you for that, right? So I just wanted to clear that up about Cindy's. I'm sorry, I know y'all are going into something else, but it would take a
It's
long
fine.
time, so I just popped in
DCS
my brain.
contacted that attorney because that attorney was a family attorney, a family law
Right.
attorney, and she's the one that helped me get the DCS records. And she did that to cover her client.
Right. I just wanted to clear that part up. I'm sorry, Betty. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
No.
I just thought maybe that would help clear up the C&Ds and some things, because some things look bad on Seth, and I hear things, and I'm just like,
Well,
can we clear that up?
Some things look bad on Seth, and he need to clear that up. But Betty was going off a little bit ago about Queen Bee taking up for Chris. See? And that's how people gauge this case, and that's where they sit with it. And I think that is so crazy. Stop it, y'all.
We've cleared that up many times. Everybody
I
knew
know.
those C&Ds were direct related because somebody took stuff off of his phone that he was under strict confidence not to share. Even as a father, you could not share these documents. It's unlawful.
Betty has been with me from the get.
Who would have been close enough to Seth to take stuff off his phone? Seth, are you that stupid? What about that Michaela? Is that her name? I don't know.
Go well, not the get-go, but a couple months in, and she has never seen the DCS reports.
Never.
Right.
I've been to Jen's house and have had dinners, card nights, things like that.
Oh, well, what else have you and Jen had? Oh, Jen. What can you see now?
And she has never seen the DCS reports.
Right. That's right.
I don't know. I don't know if I can trust that or not. How long y'all been knowing each other? I don't know where Jen came from.
Right. And I hope that clears that up for people.
Jen could have been somebody else in the past. I don't really know what's going on.
Well, because I'm still here.
See, we can all do this. We can all. I can be such an asshole. I'm trying, y'all. I've only doing this. I can make fun of it, honestly, because I think this is a shit show. I think it's ridiculous to go live to talk about the 2 lawsuits you just filed that are pending, right? Seeking $10 million in damages. And one of those lawsuits, the Sheriff's Department lawsuit alone, $10 million in damages. You already got an uphill battle to climb, right? This is going to make it a little worse, and this is just part of the popcorn shit show right here. When they all realized you were live tonight. So let's get it on, Donkey Kong. Fuck.
Hearing that to this day. And so I thought about it. I thought, well, while we're on here and we can clear up some stuff, maybe all heads put together, we can clear up some stuff. Okay.
Right.
The thing is, with certain channels, it won't matter because they hear what they want to hear, and then they
because they're wrong. They've been wrong, and they just can't. They double down on every
double
lesson, on every.
Doubling down. Everybody's going to double down overnight. Tomorrow the internet will break with double downism. Y'all get ready. I need to eat the other half of my gummy. It's getting late.
Every blessed thing. At some point, you're just going to have to throw the towel in and say, "Look, I was wrong."
Right.
Yeah.
It takes a real big person.
No, when we say Jim, we don't mean the coffin. We don't mean J. Cough. Everyone likes to call her Coffin Daffy. I call her J. Cough. No, Jen is this girl on the screen in the bottom right corner.
In here,
we have questions for Jen on the screen. Jen on the screen.
Admit that they're wrong, and face it. Sometimes these people are just they never graduated high school mentally.
Yeah, but you know what? But all of
we're
us
all
face
wrong at times.
all of us face that on a freaking story.
Well, the lack of transparency has caused us to have a lot of speculation. It's human nature to fill those blanks in. We're just going to want, when we're searching for answers, we're trying to figure it out, and then the information we have is incorrect or incomplete. So, there's a lot to that, and it's.
Boy, and that's the problem right there overall with all the cases, right? Lack of information. We don't know anything. Let's make it all up. Let's make it up. Who's got the best story? That one really sounds good. Yeah, let's go with that one. Let me run a poll and give y'all 5, maybe 3. Y'all choose which one's best. Which scenario's best.
Been from the very beginning.
And I will state this as well. Whether the sheriff's department clears me or not, my son is my priority. And when I want information on are you still looking?
Whether or not they clear you or not. Is nobody officially cleared during an open investigation?
For my son, you better tell me yes or no.
And never mind,
and it
you
got
got
to the
it,
point
that's right.
that, Tony was like, Tony, ask them if they're any further than they were the last time. And when they can't answer that question, my son's missing. I'm going to assume the worst. I pray and I hope every day that the light at the end of the tunnel is my son. Because that's it. Right. I want to find my son. I want to bring him home. And I want to protect him because other people didn't. And I have the records that state that he wasn't. And it doesn't matter who it states in there. The fact is that these filings is because 2 agencies failed my son. They failed communication, they failed procedures, and they failed policies.
And sometimes policies need to be changed.
Yeah. Okay. They kind of just.
Correct.
So like the Title IV, I'm thinking that is the family first.
And this was still in Tennessee. This was still in Tennessee. And they had no idea who Sebastian was. I literally put them in. I gave them the number for Sumner County. I gave them the number for Brandon. I gave them the number for my TBI contact. And I gave them the number for the FBI contact. And when I called and followed up a week later with them, they still hadn't heard anything from Sumner County or TBI. And the only person that they had heard from was the FBI.
To this day, I still tell Seth, please, I would go there and still look around. That's how serious this tip was.
And Smiley, excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. Smiley, I know that that is Chris Broadfoot. Also, I will just say he confessed to you on your show that he struck Sebastian with a belt. I don't know how hard the strike was, but it's just another admission, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, the law enforcement has that whole video, and I will say they did come back and take 3 pieces out of it, but
law enforcement's got that whole video, Smiley. They do, really, and took 3 pieces out of it. Huh. I made a real good decision a long time ago when I backed out of this one slowly, just like fucking Delphi. Damn.
timestamps or whatever, but they have that whole thing. So whatever they did with it or doing with it or whatever.
I've had other tips that have been in Kentucky and quite literally communicated with the police department and sheriff's department up there. They said that they had that the person that they saw looked like Sebastian, and he was living in a tent on property on this person's farmland, like right off the road. And the information that they gave me sounded like Sebastian. They told me that what they saw around the tent, and I was like, well, I know my son. I know he likes that type of canned food because I bought it for him before. And I turned around and I gave all this information to Sumner County, and they would not even go up there and retrieve anything to do DNA or whatnot out of the tent that was still there and the cans that were there. And I'm like, there's cans, there's disposable utensils, and a tent. You should be able to get DNA out of any of this stuff. And you've already taken stuff with DNA on it that has Sebastian, so there's no reason why, and they never did.
So
I had to have my PI go do it because I know that if I go up there and get evidence, then it's considered tampered with. It's fruit of the forbidden tree. And, you know, when I go to places, I speak to law enforcement. It's the first thing I do. I call law enforcement whenever I enter into the county, so that way they know I'm there and they know why I'm there. And then I ask to meet them at wherever location I'm going.
Oh, sure you do. I felt because at one point they tried to bring up the Proudfoots. I don't really want to watch all of
Employed
that.
to help.
And he
Sumner
wouldn't talk
County won't even
about it.
speak to them,
Betty
and they're
kinda
ex-law
wanted to get
enforcement.
into it. But
All
Chris,
right.
of course.
Wow. So they've just turned down a whole mess of
Well, while the ground search was going on, TBI has stated that they were investigating it criminally.
Well, but my question is if TBI was involved and they were a resource to Sumner County and Sumner County was asking them, are we doing anything? Why would they not point out that they never turned the house into a crime scene, or they've never properly did this or never properly did that? I mean, it's still shocking to me to this day that there was never a crime scene tape ever put up around that house. Not once.
No, when I showed up, nobody.
So they're going to just question, you know, the investigation throughout most of that. I don't really want to watch that whole thing. If y'all want to, it's Seth Rogers. If I can drop the link in the channel or in the chat rather, because it didn't get crazy like I thought it would, because Bullhorn wasn't all going ballistic. She tried to maintain herself because of the lawsuit. They didn't want to get into a lot about Chris or Katie, which they didn't do, from what I saw of it and what we just saw of it there. And they tried to stick to the contents of the lawsuit, which I still think is a big risk to come on YouTube and do. It really, really is. It's not a good call. It's not a good move at all. Let me get this grabbed here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I don't have it. I know where it's at. I don't have it here. Like ridiculous what I was thinking. I'm getting the link so I can come drop it into chat. You got it there, Forrest? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's cool. Appreciate that. What is this back here? Let me see. What? Oh, never mind. It was a new, different notification I hadn't seen before. I was like, what? All right, guys. It is like 12:30 Central, so it's gonna be 1:30 on the East Coast. It's getting late for everybody. I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. I'm getting hungry. I want to go grab something to eat. But we did get the document read earlier, and we did come back and get through the audio dispatch from the, you know, right after 911 was called, and get into we looked at the interview with the parent, well, Katie, and then we saw some of the Nancy Grace stuff about that lie detectors. There's so much in between all that, right? And a lot of it's not worth unpacking because it doesn't pertain to Sebastian going missing or the investigation. There's just so much extra aside. But you know, some of it is worth going back and looking at and looking over. Especially if you're trying to understand what's happening here. Do you know what I mean? What's going on? Why am I seeing certain things? And there's really not much to explain except lines were drawn quickly because of these parents and creators taking sides with the parents. And then that turned to personal and turned into a lot of things after that. And that's all I know because I didn't go participate in all of that. So I'm not even quite sure how it all got there, to the level that it did, and why it's still that way. I don't know. I don't know if there's any end in sight, but I do know if Sebastian Rogers is out there, he needs to be found, right? I don't know if it was by choice that he's choosing to stay gone, or if it's not by choice that once he left, he could never get his way back. I don't know how it's going to go down. If Katie and Chris were ever involved in any capacity, I don't know how they pulled it off. I've considered all the ways. Don't know how they did it. Seth, not smart enough to go kidnap his own kid because of all his raging jealousy and he put that out there, not me. All his raging jealousy over Chris and Katie. Did he take the kid to go hide him out forever to teach her a lesson? I suppose. I don't think he could pull it off for this long. Right? I don't know, y'all. All right. Well, again, Monday, I will take the day off tomorrow because we all need a day off to rest. And my granny used to say we couldn't work on the Lord's Day. I'm going to take her advice tomorrow. Taking Granny's advice tomorrow. She said, I cannot work. It's the Lord's Day. So I'm going to relax. And prepare for the week because we're going to have quite a bit coming up if I stream this. And I said I'm streaming the Clancy case, the Clancy trial. So we did our primer show on Clancy. If y'all want Lindsay Clancy, you go back and check it out if you're interested. Monday and Tuesday, the jury selection starts on Monday. Nothing's changed as far as I know. But we're not going to cover the jury selection. That's a long, tedious thing I don't care about. Pick the right jury, of course, but I'll come back when you're done. So I think we'll take that time to go over some of the civil stuff in that case, right? Because Lindsay's husband and Lindsay have both filed civil lawsuits about her care. And I wanted to unpack some of that to see if we can understand a little more about her case going into trial. So for those of you who are here for that, I appreciate it. And if while we're covering that trial, if other things are happening in the other cases we're following, I will bring updates at night about those, okay? So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in and hanging out with me for the night. Not coming in once, but coming in twice if you did. And if you catch me on the replays, I appreciate it. Y'all do all the YouTube thingies, please, and hit the like button. Subscribe. It's free. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you go, and I'll see you back here come Monday.
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe and follow. Much love from Little Yas to